All right, so what's your name?
My name is Margarita.
Margarita. How old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
Where are you from originally?
Phoenix, Arizona.
What are you doing out here?
I'm currently homeless with lots of trauma, with PTSD and just a lot of abuse.
What do you have PTSD from, if you don't mind me asking?
From when I was little and from my early days being homeless, I was raped. So that just tends to bother me a lot of the time. And then a lot of the time I just feel like other people just don't understand me.
I'm sorry to hear that. How was your childhood growing up? Do you have family?
Yeah, I have 7 brothers and 5 sisters. So my family's pretty big, but we ended up growing up in CPS. So we were all just separated, which is kind of hard because we don't really get to talk to each other like we want to. And a lot of the time we're getting in our own kind of trouble with just whatever we're having to deal with, since we didn't have the best sort of direction and guidance where we knew how to just do things correctly. Yeah, so
what was going on at home? How come your mom kept on losing you guys to the CPS?
neglect and just habits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your mom came from this kind of life as well?
She didn't, she just chose it.
Yeah.
Yeah. She chose addict and decided to hang out with her friends, and she's now sober.
Yeah.
After going to church on the streets. It's just from a lot of the streets, she has to remember that every day, and she has to deal with it.
Do you have a relationship with her?
Do I have a relationship with her? Yeah, we're pretty close. It's just we don't talk as much that I would like to, because when I open up, I talk a lot, and it's just also at the same time it's hard for me to talk about certain things to certain people, even though I love talking and things are easy to talk about. My English and just standard formal speaking is not so well.
You sound pretty good to me.
Thank you.
But you said you had what, 7 brothers and 5 sisters?
Yeah.
Something like that? How are your siblings doing? Are they doing good? Are they doing bad?
See, most of us are out at the moment. A lot of us are usually incarcerated. Just like the guys are usually together.
Yeah.
They usually get locked up at the same time. This is the first time when one of our brothers are about to be alone in there, and he's facing forever. So we're just hoping to get him out with our support, which is not a lot, So I'm just hoping that they have a clear understanding about us, and since we did grow up with them. So and nothing was intentional when he got his charges and everything, because I know his charge was like a raid and he had a weapon on him and everything, and it just didn't look so well because me being in prison, I was talking to the guards and everything, and I was like screaming a lot of the time too, and it's because I grew up with them, so I felt really close and comfortable. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I could feel this shit happening. Like, I have nobody on my phone line, nothing, and I'm just like, I feel it. Something's going on with my brother. Like, somebody help, please. And it's just like, nobody understood. And that's when I was like, they kind of like, the girls and guys try to understand me, and they like give me a fair chance, So when I'm doing things and living life with them, it's just they try to fit me in as good as it gets, So yeah, you could say that it took a lot of time.
Do you have any siblings that are doing good right now?
Any siblings that are good?
That are doing good, like have a regular, normal job and have a house or apartment?
My sister Olivia has a house with her husband. Well, soon to be husband. They're engaged, but yeah, they have a house, they have kids, and they take care of a lot of our, like my sister-in-laws, or not my sister-in-laws, but my sister's kids.
Yeah.
Her girls, and even though they're native, it like helps and everything, but yeah, they do the best they can, and they seem like
What's your ethnicity?
Mine?
Yeah.
Hispanic.
Okay, you're not Native American?
No, I'm Mexican American from Texas. Both of my parents. Yeah. So that'd be nice though.
What happened to you right here on your neck? You have a big scar.
In my early 20s, I was hit by a Tahoe on 32nd Street and Earl. They ended up leaving me for dead, and the ambulance found me, and it hit me and it landed on top of me from what everybody in the apartment next to it, like next to the corner, says.
Yeah.
So they just put that statement in, and the ambulance did the best they could to revive me, and I ended up waking up. It was a miracle, they said, but at the same time, I had to get a neck plate in the front and a neck plate in the back, and then a leg rod, and I couldn't walk. So they were like, you got a fracture on the other side of your leg. So
what were you doing? Where were you going?
I was drunk and high,
okay,
and just walking the streets with my suitcase that night, and everything's like a blur because I blacked out right away. But at the same time, I barely made it, and it's very difficult because they're like, technically you're not gonna walk, because they literally had, like, when I woke up, I was like, my legs were up, and then they had me up to the point where everything was just holding me, the bed, and then that's when I couldn't even really talk, but I forced myself to, and I barely made out words, and my sister was like, I'm right here, and when she said that she was right there, I realized I couldn't speak correctly. So then I was like, give me something to write with, signaling her. She gave me something to write with, and I was like, what happened? She's like, you died. So my family was all with me. Later on, like 2 weeks after, I began to walk again because I got up. Sad to say, I used my habit as a strength, but it worked for me, and I got up, and that's the only thing I was really holding on to besides my children and my family, So I ended up going to Desert Terrace for a little bit, but they began to tell me that I was done with the physical therapy, and I didn't feel like I was done. Like, I couldn't run like I was supposed to and stuff like that, but at the same time, I kind of understand that they have other people to take care of, and programming does cost money, and it's just like, I just took it as a loss for myself, and I went back on the streets instead, which was not a good idea because I was already struggling with probation and everything. So probation was very hard to get off of, but I ended up on parole, and I recently just got off. So I just got to pay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got to pay restitution, and then I'm good.
What were you locked up in prison for?
For my trespassing and an assault on some officers. The assault was nothing intentional, and it was just all just a Rosa Parks story, to be honest. And yeah, I just had to do time, and I had no understanding of the law, really.
How long did you do?
How long did I do? I did a year in there, but at the same...
Assaulting an officer?
Yeah, and drug charges and everything, but I had 233 days back time.
Yeah.
At the same time, I just did my medication packet, which just gets us less time. Our lawyer does the rest, and everything's good from there, as long as we just keep it honest and work with our probation officer, our parole officer, and the judge, and we're just staying in contact, then everything works itself out, you know?
Yeah.
I know it gets difficult and things like are not always in the straight vertical or horizontal line, but at the end of the day, it was pretty fair. Because I know a lot of people don't have the same fairness.
Yeah.
But I got really lucky. Yeah, because I lived, like I said, I know all the guards and I know the troops from when I was little and stuff like that. So I have good contacts at the end of the day.
So, are you trying to get out of your situation or not?
Get out of my situation?
Yeah.
No, but I would like to just do something more with myself and get a fair second chance. I know I had it before already. Yeah. It's just this time I have experience with just classes that are taken for exactly rehabilitation for a person, and just the exact things we need to be able to succeed if we're just in recovery, which was not all given to me from the start, you know, and it was kind of difficult. So I know medicine is a great option and it does help, you know, at the end of the day. So I know once I am ready, I am going to need to be on medication. And I know there's going to be possibilities where I'm still doing what I'm doing, you know. Relapse is bound to happen, but I just hope I get people that are able to work with me, you know.
All right. Well,
all we have is to keep trying, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll do.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I really do appreciate it. Are you okay if I post it up on my YouTube channel?
Yes, you can.
Just in case anybody wants to reach out to you with any sort of help or donations, do you want to share a Cash App or anything like that?
I really do not have a Cash App or anything.
Or an email or anything?
No.
Okay.
Not a steady one, no.
All right. Well, that's fine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.